Your body, mine too, your body carries wisdom. Are you listening? Are you listening to your body? Because the more we ignore it, the less wisdom we carry. The less wisdom we have access to if we're not listening to what the body says. Let me explain. Did you ever notice that when, let's just say you're walking along and a little stone gets in your shoe, and maybe you're not paying attention at first, but maybe you are, and your body starts to limp or pay attention, or it's poking you, it hurts a little bit, and if you don't stop and take the little pebble out, or maybe it's bigger, or maybe it's a wrinkle in your sock, whatever it is, if you just keep going, your body will compensate. It will do it automatically. Your brain doesn't say, you don't have to take an analysis or review what's going on in my body all the time. And, ooh, what's that little lump in my foot? Is it my shoe? Is it a stone? It feels sharp. It's dull. I better take the pressure off. I better stop and fix it. No, it's an automatic kind of a thing. Your body will automatically compensate. It wasn't until somebody mentioned to me at the gym, wow, you're limping today. I didn't realize I was limping. I knew my knee was hurting me, but I had to do my 15-minute walk at the end of my workout. Just keep going, Sandra, just keep going. There's lots of other ways our body compensates and actually sends us messages, and we ignore them, not to our benefit, to our detriment, actually. You notice after a while that it's not just a little problem in your shoulder, but you can't lift it, you can't move it anywhere because you've ignored the weeks that it's just been getting a little bit worse and a little bit worse. You're too busy doing other things. You're not paying attention to the body. The body continues to compensate to try to correct the problem, to try to heal itself, but we're not working in combination with it. We're not paying attention. We're not listening. We're not listening. It's one of the ways that, it's one of the ways that God has arranged it for us to pay attention to the body. This is an awareness. That's what the signals are. A lot of them are just so far down and so on that we don't pick them up right away. So when we don't pick them up right away, we don't have to feel bad. Awareness is God's invitation to new life. Okay, sit down. Take the stone out of the shoe because you're limping. Or in the gym, it's like, okay, Sandra, pay attention to how that knee is functioning. Because the limp is throwing off the shoulder, not the shoulder. The limp is throwing off the hips and throwing off the lower back, et cetera, et cetera. It's only making everything worse. The compensation, the automatic compensation. All right, so you know that from a physical perspective, right? It's true. It's true. Our bodies carry a lot of innate wisdom that God built into them, and it behooves us, it benefits us if we pay attention. I want to tell you something that it took me decades to understand, and that is that it's also true for our emotions, for our spiritual lives. Psychologically, it's not just physically. Even spiritually, we need to be very cautious, very, very cautious, because we tend to adjust to things. This is how we get I don't want to say involved. We need a stronger word than that. This is how we get caught up in. This is how we get captured by poor behavior patterns that are actually not just detrimental, but they're toxic to us, our own, how we end up in those patterns. And here's an example. I'll just give you one. we learn at an early age that in order to circumvent what's going on at home, in order to avoid maybe our parents, we think they're too strict, or they just don't like a certain friend, or whatever it is. And so what we do is we just shut everything down. We don't discuss it. We don't try to understand. Of course, at an early age, whoever thinks about having a conversation. So these patterns can start quite early. But even we get a little older, or we're teenagers, and the culture is not saying, no, why don't you sit down with your parents and discuss it? Like, no, that's not what the culture says. But anyway, you go forward. And we decide that the best way to handle this place where we're not comfortable is to just suppress those uncomfortable feelings and choose to behave in a, well, subterfuge, in a sneaky way. But the pattern begins to set itself into more and more of our life. It spreads. It's not just that one place. It becomes a pattern that we follow lots of places, where we suppress the uncomfortable feelings and just divert, go around, and, well, everything's fine. It's just fine. You can't do that in adult life. You can't just suppress problems at work and try to find a way to avoid your boss or your coworker or someone you're supposed to be training, teaching the job. You cannot just do that. It's not productive. Those old patterns wreak havoc in our lives. So just as with the stone in the shoe, that our physical body just compensates. It just compensates. You don't have to tell it, but we do need to pay attention to the compensating, to the pattern, to the adjustment, because it's disrupting our lives. It's throwing off our skeletal framework or muscles, all things. Same thing when we discover that we're having a pattern going on in our life that was something we did practically automatically when we were quite young, or maybe even we chose it more consciously as life went on, but it's not working to our benefit. These kind of awarenesses, I'll say it again, awareness is God's invitation to new life. The kind that only Jesus can provide. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Okay, if you want to know more about this, follow my stuff on YouTube, Sandra Allen Lovelace. And pay attention, I'm going to be posting right here on different places on Facebook all about my upcoming course. It's a series, actually, on healing. And so with somatics, healing safety, I'm going to show you how to recognize and how to develop, how to nurture patterns of healing safety in your body with somatics. Yeah, this is starting June 25, 2026, is I'm going to post this. This information about compensation is really valuable. All right. Like, comment, and share, please. I've shared about this other thing now. You share about this. Thank you. Bye-bye.